Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host my show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today is a very interesting lady. Her name is Charlotte Kemp, and she's got, I think it's a new clothing line that she's promoting. I was curious now, what made you decide to go in? Are you there, Charlotte?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Johnny.
What made you decide? Hey, what made you decide to go into this clothing line thing?
Because I had gotten Fabletics, but I wanted something classier and cooler, and I designed my own line.
Did you not to put down the other lines, but what did you think was different than the others, that you've seen?
I just think they're more fun. They're also not so compressed for larger ladies, which I'm not larger, but, the thing is that I thought that the colors, and we're going to do men's sports shirts, women's sports shirts. We've got a whole line going down.
And you were the one that designed all this. Did you have any help?
No, I designed it.
How long did it take you to design it?
About 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months. Wow, that's a lot of work. Does it take like a few hours a day to do it, or?
Yeah. I work with my assistant, and we came out with, some really cool designs.
Now, do you remember when the moment was when you decided that you wanted to do this? Was there like a particular moment that you remember, or was it just like it hit you?
No, I didn't. I don't know the moment, but it was a certain amount of period that I thought, wow, I could really do some really cool things with this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
have you always...
And we started designing and contracted, manufacturers, and we do our own, basically, logos and everything on it.
Did you?
And I took off the tags off the back so that it will just be imprinted.
That's something I've also wondered about.
Those nasty little tags. Oh, I hate those.
It's sort of funny because, I've heard people joke about how when you go buy glasses, you try to imagine what it's going to look like without the tag. Because the moment the tag goes right in your face, it's not like the way you would normally use it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm just going to have it imprinted on the back and in leggings.
Do you has your stuff been featured in any fashion shows yet?
No, we just started it on the website www.wickedfitapparel.club, and you can get into the club, or you can just buy it separately.
I guess the reason I asked that question is because I didn't know if it was to the fashion show stage yet. I've never created I didn't know. When you do something like a fashion show, who is the authority to decide what the models wear?
Me.
No, I know that, but what I'm trying to say, I figured that part. I'm talking about.
Well, if you look
go
at
to
the
a fashion
website, you'll see Sandy Penny, who's Miss South Africa, and then you'll see Karina Harney, who is Playmate of the Year. You'll see Angela and myself.
Okay. Now, the only reason I asked that question is, I mean, are the fashion shows like run by you, or are they run by somebody else?
I haven't done a fashion show yet. It's very new.
Okay. In other words, probably like a couple of weeks old, right?
Well, when we put up the website, yes. But when we do a fashion show, it would probably here in Chicago. Because there's long sleeves, short sleeves, and all of them are very, very soft. That soft cotton. And
I mean, do you? I mean, is it? But you've never organized a fashion show before. This will be your first time.
Well, I may just do a magazine ad before the fashion show.
Magazine and okay, that makes sense.
And it'll be through Lake Martin Productions. Lake Martin.
Blake.
Oh, Blake Martin Productions. So sorry.
Okay, I got you. I mean, it's so that's the. In other words, I guess something has. I guess that would have to happen before. Do you know what kind of stores are going to have these clothes?
Not yet. Hopefully, lots.
So you don't have the authority to decide that. What you do is you decide who gets it, or the stores that have to buy the line is what you're saying, right?
It depends on which stores and everything else, and what the merchandisers go for. I mean, that's a pretty long process.
Is this the kind of thing that there's going to be commercials for, like on television, maybe?
Hey, you know what? I wish. I hope so.
That would be good. What celebrity would you want to do a commercial for this?
I don't know. I haven't really picked out anyone yet.
I think it must be. I mean, it must be a big undertaking because when you was there a person that kind of inspired you to do all this to complete this?
No. It was just an idea that I really wanted to do this. Leggings, shirts, short shirts, sports things, etc.
Now you've also done you were a runner. Is that correct?
I was a what? What?
You were the first playmate ever licensed for the Playboy running team.
I was the only playmate ever sub-licensed.
Oh, the only playmate. Now, yeah, you've been running. Did you always run, or?
Won what?
Run a lot.
Oh, ran?
No.
Yeah, I ran marathons, and I had 10 women on the team. They ran 5Ks. And it was great. It was exciting and people.
Yeah, I've heard exercise can be a great treatment for depression. I've heard. I mean,
running?
you're always yeah.
I think any exercise is great for that.
Well, the only reason I say that is, I mean, it's I've gone out running, where I'm at in Florida, whenever I get depressed, I walk outside and I walk, And
well,
it's
the thing is, if you're depressed, just get out and walk and realize your surroundings. And I think that makes a lot of people, their serotonin uplift, and I think that's good for them.
it must be very uplifting. I mean, when you run,
I've run 33 marathons, 2 triathlons, and 3 endurance races.
Do you still run?
No, I bike more now. And I walk more, like fast run more. Just because I kind of, how you go through things? It's like, okay, I've done enough of this. So then you keep on going through things. And, I played tennis for many years. I swam for 17 years. It's just, it's just the thing that your next capability and what you like.
Mhm. Do you? Do you ever think about writing any?
Writing what?
Anything.
Well, I used to ride horses, but yeah.
No. Write. WRITE.
Oh, well, yeah. I've written 2 books, and I've got 7 projects going now.
Projects? You mean like television shows or movies?
Well, both. There's movies and episodic. And I've written since I was 3 years old.
I guess that now, when you pitch a television show, which is I assume what you're talking about, don't you have to write a treatment and pitch it to a producer or something?
Oh yeah.
The reason I'm
you write a
asking
treatment,
is
and then you get certain people, and if they like it, they go for it.
The reason I ask is that I have a treatment myself. I've written one, and it's sort of something that I've, but it's sort of like a game show idea. And, it's really weird. I mean, have you ever been, what's it like, though, when you actually talk to the producer, though? I mean, has that ever happened to you yet, or?
I am the producer. What I do is you find investors, and
I see. So I would have to. So somebody that pitches a television show would have to pitch it to somebody that would fund the show, right?
Right.
Okay. It sounds like it's quite a long process.
It is a long process, and you have to keep on top of it, and that's just what happens. I mean, Kevin Costner with Dances with Wolves took him 7 years. And that was
he was the one that wrote that, or
he wrote it and he directed it and was the main star. But it took him 7 years. So it's not, you have to have the fortitude and, go for it if you believe in it. I mean, Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, took 12 years to get Rocky done.
I interviewed Jackie Stallone, and she said that she predicted to the day that he was going to sell the script. And it was him that said, Sylvester Stallone said that. He predicted to the day that it was going to happen. I mean, it is really weird. It's like, you don't think these successes can happen to you. It's like you go through these times in your life where you feel like a failure, you know?
No, I don't look at it that way. If you believe in something, you believe in it.
Now, can you elaborate on what you mean by believing in something, you believe in it?
I'm sorry?
Can you elaborate on what you mean by if you believe in something, you believe in it?
Well, if you believe in something, then you believe in it, and you go for it.
Yeah, that was. I mean, the whole Rocky story is quite a story. I mean, when you've been approached, because you've also been in a few movies. Like, how do you know? This is one thing I've ran into with everybody I know that in the business, it seems. And you tell me if you can explain this. I was watching, this isn't a tangent, but I was watching a talk show, and Gary Coleman was on it. And somebody asked him, they said, so when are you going to go back on television again? And he goes, I am definitely going back on television. There's this television show, and I'm going to do it. And he basically said me what it was going to be. The thing is, I kept waiting for it, and it never happened. And I guess what I'm trying to say is...
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. You have to have good people around you.
Well, I guess what I don't understand is, why is it that there's so many people that have ran into in this business that say, oh, I know it's going to happen, it's a sure thing, it's going to happen, it's a sure thing, and then it doesn't happen?
Well, there's never a sure thing, for one thing. You know, people can draw you. You know, so, oh, yeah, this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And if they don't, you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But you got to understand that it's like being an actor. You go into, and you think you just kick it into an interview, and you don't get it. You know, nothing's a sure thing.
Do you think there's a way to know that if something was a sure thing? Like, did you know it was a sure thing if you were going to be repossessed? Or, I mean, because I've heard other people...
I was hired immediately. But I've had many movies where I went in for 3 auditions, supposed to be a sure thing, and didn't happen. And you just gotta, you know, turn your jaw and say, okay, whatever.
Well, even somebody like experienced like Conan O'Brien got it wrong about the Tonight Show. You know, he went in thinking he was going to get it, and he was going to turn out nothing. You know, I mean, Conan O'Brien's a smart guy. You know, I mean, that's just something I never could figure out. I mean, I was never be able to understand how somebody.
Well, you have to understand that how people respond to him, and if he doesn't get a good response, or she, or whomever, you know, it's like a rejection. But he still has a show.
Conan O'Brien, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess I'm curious because I mean, like, also I think there's it's a sure thing, and then is it going to be the way that you want it to be? Like I've heard of people, probably some of these people are friends of yours. They say, "Oh, I was in this movie," and then they edited it out, or like I think it was Terry Lynn Doss was in Roadhouse, but you don't see her in Roadhouse because she was edited out. I've heard that. That happens a lot. It's like the movie might be a sure thing, but
that happens a lot. If you don't, play your part and it doesn't look good, you get on the editing floor.
Why do they edit people out?
Because they didn't like the performance or whatever. I mean, that just happened.
Okay. And were there ever movies that you were supposed?
I'm sorry.
Were you ever in a movie that what you did wound up in the editing floor?
No, not really.
So you never, it wasn't like, I mean, I know that the editing room floor happens all the time.
It happens all the time. It happens all the time. And you get paid, but if you're not in the movie, then you're not in the movie. I mean, if they didn't think of performance or it didn't, mesh right.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, like I heard somewhere like in Back to the Future, it was originally Eric Stoltz, not Michael J. Fox.
I have no idea about that.
No, that's true. That's true. And he had there are apparently he got. I mean, I guess it's obvious that they always try to do. There were people that often get roles that other people didn't get, like Michael J. Fox. They originally wanted him for Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I know that in the movie Oh God, it was originally supposed to be Mel Brooks and Woody Allen. So, I mean, but when you, let me ask you this.
I'm not really intrusive about those kind of things, because it's none of my business, for one thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was just.
And I don't really, like to gossip about that or anything, because if I don't know anything about it. If I don't know anything about it, then it's not my business. It's not my business.
The when you now let me ask you this, because I mean, you do you mind if I ask you how you found out that you were going to be a playmate?
My basically roommate. We went down. She said, "Charlotte, come on down," and they were all ready for me. The next morning, I was out in Los Angeles. They picked me, boom, right away.
Wow, I mean, like, don't you get like one of those bunny necklaces when you become a playmate?
Oh, I have a ton of them.
Because I've heard that the penthouse pets get keys, and that Playboy playmates get the bunny of them. I have no idea what Hustler Honeys get, but
No, I have about 10 or 15 of them.
now do they? I mean, is that something that only a playmate gets, or?
I would think so. Yes.
Wow. Do you get like a certificate or something, or?
No. They used to be just like presents and Christmas presents or birthday presents, whatever.
Who was the first person that you told that you were going to be a playmate when you found out you were going to be one?
Well, my roommate, Jill DeVries. Yeah. Well, she knew. Yeah.
Was she a
and
model?
the limo. Yeah, Jill DeVries was Miss April in 1978. And she was my roommate. And when the limo pulled up the next day, they said, be ready by 10 o'clock. Took me to the airport. Boom, boom, boom.
So, in other words, your roommate was also a playmate. Oh, that's interesting. Do you ever talk to her?
I haven't talked to her in years.
Wow. I'm wondering, what's the most playmates you've ever seen in one room or one place at a time? Do you know what that is? Or
I'm sorry?
what's the most playmates that have ever been in one place at one time?
Probably GlamourCon.
Is GlamourCon when the playmates get together, or is that just like?
It's a convention where people come in, they pay to come in and get your autographs.
Okay, so there's a lot of playmates there, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very. I'll say this about the playmates. You were all very easy to talk to and very sweet. I mean, you know, and you seem like real people, you know. So I've always been real impressed with that. I mean, it's one of your friends, Terry Lynn Doss, is like so much fun to interview. You know, she talks and she has a range of emotions during the interview, so she's so much fun. You know.
Yeah,
And
she's a sweetie.
Yeah, she is. And it's like, I always thought that, you know, it's sort of funny because I used to always think that if I was younger, I would have thought a woman who was in Playboy would be unapproachable. You know, it would be like, how could I even say hello to somebody like that? You know, I mean, you all look like
that's kind of like your own fantasy, and then feeling inferior.
Well, I know your people, and I know that you have. I'm not going to go into your personal life, but what I'm saying is that, you know, every day is the regular day. I mean, you have things that you worry about. I'm not going to say what those things are, but, you know, we all worry about those things, and you worry about things, and you get anxious and stressed out.
No, I think every person in this world has that.
But I think what I'm trying to say is that I think sometimes with Playboy, I think some of the people that do these magazines, they almost want you to hide that, it seems. I mean, the picture.
What do you mean, these magazines?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that someone does a photo shoot, and it seems like you see the picture. Sometimes I'm not putting on the picture. I'm just saying that sometimes we forget that there's a person, you know, who is a normal day-to-day life. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I understand that, but that's a normal fantasy, and we're just regular girls.
Yeah, I hope you didn't take that as a put down or anything, but I know what you mean. I want to make sure you didn't understand what I said, misunderstood what I said when I said these magazines. I guess what I'm trying to say is that a person can look at a picture and be overtaken by just the fact that she's hot, and then not paying attention to the fact that maybe this woman is stressed out about something that she's doing or something that's going on in her life.
You don't want to look at a picture of a playmate or whomever you're talking about. It's a beautiful picture. You know what? And we're all just the same. And the thing is that you look at a picture and you don't think, oh, they're not stressed out, da-da-da-da. Well, you know what? Everyone has a life. And just looking at a picture is not, it's not reality.
Actually, it's funny. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but Rita Rudner was a comedian, and she told a joke one time, and she goes, "My husband says he reads Playboy for the articles. I told him I go shopping for the escalators."
Nice.
I mean, it's sort of funny, yeah.
Well, they also had a lot of great writers and Leroy Neiman. I mean, they had a lot of great things. Basically, the interviews, et cetera. They have a lot of cool things.
I think the point...
Not just the playmate.
Yeah. I think the point that people are trying to do when they say that is if there's this lady who's in being naked and you see her naked and then there's an article about her, I think the men are saying, listen, what's important is the article about her was very good because it got to talk about the lady who is in the picture. I think that's what they're kind of getting at a little bit. I think it's sort of like a woman poses. Like
you said, I read Playboy for the interviews, etc. Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the pictures have an appeal. I think, but I think what some people are thinking is that they care about you as a human being. And if the interview says, "Oh, well, I think one of the I ran into Darva Conger one time, and Darva Conger was this. She was the Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire winner. We bonded because I have cerebral palsy, and she lost her brother to cerebral palsy. And she did Playboy because she was broke. She didn't have any money after the show. She lost her job. So
a lot of women did that.
Because they were broke?
They were broke before and after.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people think that, if you're a playmate, you're set for life. You must, and it's none of my business what house someone lives in.
Well, for one thing, that's a misnomer, but we're just regular women, and if we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. Or if you don't want to make it. You know, it's a one-off thing.
Is that the biggest misconception about Playboy playmates, or do you think that there's other misconceptions?
Tell you the truth, there are some misconceptions that, you know, you can hear 10 at a time. And we're just regular women that Playboy found that were beautiful, the girls next door, and, you know, I don't think a lot of women I know didn't go for anything after. And then a lot of women did very well. But you understand that we're just women that, you know, Playboy pet. And, you know.
Playboy playmate, you mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that it's I've heard when I had Terry Lynn Doss on, we talked about this. She said that sometimes it can be very dangerous because people, they say that, oh, they can get you into Playboy, and then, you know, they got canned, obviously, you know. You know about what I'm talking about? Or?
Well, you know what? If you read my book, Centerfold, that it took me many years to write, it's on centerfolds.com, you'll see a lot of these stories where women waited for 10 years, etc. And those are always first-hand accounts. They're not gossip, they're not anything. Each one of these women, I did personal interviews. And like I said, centerfolds.com. And, you know, you'll get a reading of what some people went through, some people didn't, you know. But I can't go through the whole book right now.
I know.
There's very many different circumstances.
Working on the sequel.
You know, that women went through.
What was that part? Or what did he say? Or
I'm sorry?
What was that? What did he say? Or
who?
No, I thought I heard someone say something.
No.
Oh.
And it took me 24 years to actually go through and get all these, you know, I guess interviews, etc., that were not gossip or hearsay. And the book is about that.
I mean, it's scary. It sounds like Hollywood in general seems like a scary place. I mean, Charlie Sheen, I've heard like all the stories. You know, it sounds like that these women are given jobs and then they have a hand on the knee that goes with it. You know.
I don't really know about that because I never went through it.
But you understand what I'm talking about, right?
Who?
You understand what I'm talking about, though, right?
I'm sorry, you said me and what?
No, you understand what I'm talking about. It's. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that's all gossip and hearsay and whatever.
Yeah, well, I wasn't naming anything like specific. I was just saying that it probably happens and it's probably very dangerous.
Well,
because
I heard a lot of things that were dangerous, but you know what? If I do not specifically see it or anything, it's all hearsay and gossip, and you know, people that do that, they're either very jealous or just want to make rumors.
Mhm. When you make movies, is it a lot of fun to make a film?
Well, it can be. There's a lot of, hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It says here also that you were in the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. When did that happen?
When I had the Playboy running team.
Oh, the Playboy running team. So you were actually on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. What year were you on?
I think it was 85.
Oh, well, wait a minute. In that case, you were on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
No, Jay Leno. And all the girls ran through, and I sat and talked for a couple minutes with Jay Leno, but that was it.
But, I mean, was Jay Leno the guest host, or was Jay Leno the host?
The host.
Okay, then it must have happened, because it couldn't have happened in 85, because in 85 Carson was the host.
Well, maybe it was 86. I'm sorry.
Okay. But it was, or maybe, Jay Leno was hosting. He was the guest, I mean, it was, that must have been exciting to be on the Tonight Show. People dream for that. It's like Oprah for the 80s,
I don't know what you're asking. I'm giving you a time perception because I think in 86 I stopped the Playboy running team because I got pregnant.
Okay. Yeah. All right, that's fine. I mean, the point is, though, you were on the Tonight Show, which is, I think, that's amazing. I mean, I would be like, besides myself if I was on it, because that's like a huge deal. I mean, that's sort of like Oprah for some people,
Yeah,
were you nervous
it was very
before you
cool, and it was, it all went well.
Were you nervous before, or?
Not really.
Okay.
No, I had been on many shows before, believe me, and no, it didn't really bother me at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of funny because, like, I have a podcast. I like to consider it a show, but it's like I try to be, professional, but I mean, I do get very nervous because I want everything to go well, and I want to make sure I give good interviews. I want to make sure I say right things, and I don't come across as rude, So it's a little bit. I mean, it can get very scary when I do. So that's why, when somebody says you're on the Tonight Show, I'd be like, I don't know. I would probably freak out.
Well, you have to understand this was 30 years ago, and It was fun. It was great. But the same token, it's like, 30 years ago. And I had been on the morning show. I had been on so many shows.
Were you ever nervous before you went on a
really, show? I'm sorry?
Were you ever nervous before you went on a show?
Yeah, of course. Everyone gets nervous. You want to make sure that that no one snipes you, and
no one snipes you.
That's why you usually usually if I went on shows or anything else, I would have a PR agent that would say, okay, this might be answered, this might be questioned, this might be da-da-da. And you got to roll with the flow.
Okay. I mean,
you don't get blindsided.
So your PR agent is the one who negotiates these things for you, or?
Well, usually they get the questions, what I will and what I will not answer. And, you don't want people to catch you off guard. And I'm an English major, and I'm pretty intelligent on these things. And I don't.
Yeah, I'm a philosopher.
I don't want to be blindsided. Let's put it that way.
I try very hard not to do that to people. I mean, if and it's like I was so worried today. I was like, oh boy, I hope I don't do anything to her that's gonna make her leave the interview thinking I'm a jerk. That's
Johnny, you can't blindside me.
Well, I mean, it's just that I'm a philosophy major, and I majored in philosophy because it was, and I was so nervous leading to the interview because I thought I really, really wanted her to think that I did well because I thought of all the other places that you've been interviewed, and I worry that you wouldn't think I was professional or that I didn't treat you good or, I mean.
No, you've been very kind. I'm not worried about that. It doesn't worry me because I know my life. So there's not much you can actually, ask me and, blindside me about. It just doesn't happen that way.
I think, have you ever been blindsided on a show before, though?
Nope.
So it's good to know.
No. The only show that I was blindsided on was my first interview with Sally, what was her name? Jessie Sally, whatever. It was in Detroit. And it was one of my first interviews because I'm from Detroit. And there were just a bunch of people in the audience, and they were like, kind of yelling at me, you're a whore, you da da da. And I just kept very monotone. And she kept asking me questions, and I said, you know what? Fine. I just kept very monotone and answered the questions. But there were a lot of women out there that just wanted to attack me. And I was, 19, 20 years old. And I just went into a monotone mode of like, okay, I'll answer this, I'll answer that. And, a lot of them were yelling and screaming at me because, and I just went, I'm not going to go for it. It depends on whether you want to listen to the question, on whether it's very aggressive, or listen to the question where you can answer it in a, loving, kinding way, and decide to do that.
Why were they wanting to tear you up?
I was a kid. And it was when Sally Jassy Raphael first started out. And a lot of women were angry. And I was like 19, 20 years old. And
yeah, but why were they angry, though? I mean, because you were a playboy?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And I had to be very calm. I had to be very calm and just, not get angry or, aggressive, even though they were. I had to, follow my own instinct.
Okay,
And
I think I get what you're saying.
My own instinct was like, okay, these people are going after me, so keep it calm, keep it good, and just, and you have to do that because otherwise you would be just like, and that's not a good thing. So you just, put yourself on the block and answer questions and not be aggressive. And, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. People really go after you. And you just got to back down and, be pleasant, be whatever, and, not, word for word go after someone. Like I said, I was an English major, and I could cut someone up in pieces. But
where'd you go to college?
IU. And then, but the thing is that I chose to take the higher road and just be, shut down and let these people go on their aggression, whatever, and try to be beautiful and, say the right words and just, because if someone answers you a really, question that subjects you to an angry answer, you got to watch that.
So
I
you've
chose
never gotten angry. You've never been angry in an interview, or?
Well, no, not really. I've gotten pissed off, but I'm not going to let that show because it doesn't behoove me, and it makes me look like an asshole. But you just got to calm yourself down and just,
Well, that makes sense.
You can't fight against a person. You can't fight a person who's attacking. You just sit back and just say, okay. you have not, the last conference I did, I kind of told my whole story. And 32 women came up and said, thank you so much. They didn't attack me because I told the truth. But when people come after you, and they just want to make you angry, you get back, get your center, your core, and, do an appropriate answer instead of going after them or whatever. I mean, that's just...
Were you ever on David Letterman?
No.
The Howard Stern?
They wanted me on there twice, and I said no.
Okay.
And even though I think it's funny and everything else, I did not want to be perpetrated as just tits and ass.
Yeah, I was very careful when I wanted to get you on that you didn't think that either. I wanted to make sure that whatever self-promotion or promotion was done with you, that it was done on your own terms. I mean, I don't have a problem with the Playboy pass. I just wanted to make sure that it was that you were treated.
I didn't think that at that time it was appropriate. And the other thing is, I just didn't want to be perceived as just tits and ass.
That makes sense.
I mean, a lot of girls have done it, and that's their decision.
Okay.
I just didn't want to.
Well, we have about a minute left, but listen, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it, and I hope I want to continue to work with you. Okay.
Absolutely. It's been a great interview, Johnny. And
thank you. I hope so.
We'll talk next week, and thank you to all your followers. This is Charlotte Kemp.
Okay.
And
talk to you soon.